Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and in today's episode I'm bringing you an update on the Australia GST tax issue, which we talked about back in April. Now, like I said, back in April, link to a video up here, I mentioned how Australia was looking to kill multi-channel e-commerce for residents in Australia by implementing this GST tax, which was going to affect all imports into Australia and therefore make the products coming into Australia much more expensive. And basically the people, eBay, Amazon, Alibaba, all turned around and went, we do not have the facility to do what you're requiring us to do, and in response you leave us no choice but to potentially geo-block Australia from people buying products from eBay, Amazon, Alibaba. It was a huge mess, and at the time in that video I think I said I don't see how they can realistically bring this through. It would be devastating to Australia. You know, Australia is a really forward-thinking e-commerce company full of fantastic people and fantastic businesses, and the thought of this government tax ruling could potentially cripple a lot of businesses that I know who rely on eBay and Amazon for their livelihood. Now, the good news is that sort of breaking news of the past day or two. I'm not sure when this is going live on the channel, but on the 19th of June, when this is being recorded, Parliament on Monday voted in Australia to delay the introduction of the GST low-value goods amendment. Originally it was proposed it would come into action next month or within 2 or 3 weeks. It was proposed for July 2017. They've now said it will not, it's being delayed until, I've just got the article up here, until at least 12 months, so July 2018. Now, again, to recap very briefly, what this GST tax rule would have done is force Australian consumers to pay a 10% tax on any goods that had come in from overseas, basically any imported goods that had been bought on eBay, Amazon, Alibaba, or anywhere else. Now, there has been a bit of an uproar about this. There has been some, obviously eBay, Amazon, Alibaba, and a lot of sellers from the Western world, so sort of like US, UK, Canada, mainland Europe, were all sort of against this idea because, like I said, Australia is a huge e-commerce country. They buy a lot of products from around the world, and in Australia right now it seems to be a bit of a split in that obviously the big businesses, eBay, Amazon, Australia, blah blah blah, are all quite happy that this delay has come in because it's given them time for hopefully for it to get past, you know, put away altogether. But there are some small businesses in Australia who are obviously not happy about this, because apparently if you're in Australia, Australian businesses have to pay the 10% tax, so why should international businesses get away with not paying the 10% tax? Some are saying it's like a 10% subsidy to foreign businesses who are selling into Australia, and how can Australian businesses compete? I totally understand why they would be against this. However, I'm not sure they're fully embracing the nature of selling overseas, because ultimately if someone else is selling products into your country, surely you can be selling products into theirs. The same rules apply. You know, you wouldn't have to pay an import tax if you were selling into Australia or UK or whatever else. The big problem there was, however, the vast majority of the population who were consumers, who were customers of eBay and Amazon. They were going to lose out on so much choice which eBay and Amazon and Alibaba had brought them, because again, Australia is an island in, you know, the southern hemisphere and in the east for us, but in the southern hemisphere of the world, huge country, quite sparsely populated, and like I said, not that many people, not that many businesses. So products that you can get internally are going to be quite sparse. And you know, obviously being here in the UK, trade is one of our biggest things. It always has been, being able to import, export goods and trade. And I think Australia needs that same thing. And the opportunity that e-commerce has brought them has been huge. It's allowed people to send goods to Australia which Australians would not otherwise been able to get. And likewise, they've been able to trade with us. It's a good thing. Being able to trade internationally is a fantastic thing. And this just seemed to me, this GST, tax amendment, seemed like it was almost like they'd given the Australian consumers, candy, and then they were going to take it away. And I'm really glad that this GST tax, for the now, has been delayed for at least another year. It's still a really bad idea from what I gather, and I still don't see eBay, Amazon, Alibaba changing their fundamental way of working in order to facilitate this tax rule. But we will see. At least it's give sellers and buyers in Australia and around the world a little bit of breathing room. So good news about GST for the time being. And another one which I wanted to mention quite quickly whilst on the topic of Australia, it's something which I do get asked about quite frequently, is Amazon Australia. When is Amazon going to launch in Australia? The truth is that we've not had any significant update from Amazon since they publicly said they were aiming to launch the Amazon marketplace in Australia in September this year. Now, I know that we're now in June, and July, August, September is only 3 months away. Who knows? The logistics involved with setting up, a fulfillment center and all that within Australia can't be a quick process, but if anyone can do it quickly, or the quickest anyone can do it, it's probably Amazon. With that being said, I think it has to be September or October. Any later than that, November, they might as well put it off to the new year. If they get in by September, they can still make a huge dent and a huge impact in the Christmas season in Australia. October's pushing it. November is no-go. You might as well wait till the new year and do, and not run the risk of potentially harming or confusing existing e-commerce businesses by trying to send products to a new fulfillment center, blah, 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 blah. So at the time being, I know nothing more than Amazon Australia were looking at September this year. We've heard nothing since. Whether they are recruiting right now, whether they've found and are building fulfillment centres or dispatch centres in Australia, who knows? But the latest I know is that they were still aiming for September this year. If it gets pushed back, I think it will get pushed back to 2018. I don't think they'll run the risk of screwing up a Christmas period or an incredibly busy sales period. And I also don't think Amazon, being the business that they are, would want to miss out on that opportunity. They'd make a big song and dance about being ready, Black Friday, bringing that over to Australia, whether you like it or not. And yeah, so I still stand by Amazon. I think they will make something happen by September this year. It would seem foolish to bet against what Amazon can do. But as for official news, I've not heard anything since. So fingers crossed, Amazon Australia will be in action later this year. But best news is that GST has been delayed until at least July 2018. So good news for international sellers, good news for Amazon customers, good news for Australian customers. And yeah, just wanted to give you this quick update this week. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button and share it with anybody who you feel would benefit from finding out about this update. If you have any questions, comments from Australia or for Australia, let me know down below. I know I've got quite a few Australian subscribers, so again, any questions that you have, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to get involved with a conversation with you. With that said, if you haven't, please subscribe. I do get new content out every single weekday. We talk about e-commerce, entrepreneurship, eBay, Amazon, and whatever else springs to mind. With that said, I'm going to leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic one, and I'll catch you, as always, in the next video. Thank you for watching.